There is a specific, heavy silence that falls right before a major life event begins. It's that breathless window where the preparation is done, but the outcome hasn't yet arrived. The song Pavazha Malli drops us straight into that exact window. Instead of wide establishing shots or long backstories, it builds the world from the pavement up, using immediate tactile details to ground us in the location. The very first lyric draws our attention to the ground. The creation of these intricate patterns, the beautiful columns, serves as the physical groundwork, signaling that an event of real significance is imminent. And then the environmental silence finally breaks. The crack of a stick against stretched leather announces that the wedding music is officially on, kicking the static room into motion. With the atmosphere set, the perspective pulls inward to the groom. The sudden external noise and movement immediately trigger a wave of sensory overload in him. He doesn't view his bride as a quiet participant standing idly by. To him, she is a volatile energy, a firecracker whose single touch is enough to spark 100 racing thoughts. The space around them amplifies this intoxication. The heavy scent pouring off the hanging white jasmine and red rose garlands physically mirrors his own dizzying anticipation. By layering these ground-level visuals with thick auditory and olfactory triggers, the sequence winds the emotional spring. It creates a pressurized sensory vacuum right before the ceremony begins. Once the setting is established, the focus shifts to how these two actually interact. Their connection ignores the stiff formality you typically expect at a traditional ceremony. The lyrics describe a private, teasing push and pull that they maintain right in the middle of a crowded room. The song uses the imagery of a pair tied together like twin drums. This implies two completely distinct individuals who learn to shift their rhythms until they operate in perfect, amplified syncopation. Achieving that rhythm requires both sides to drop their guard. The lyric directly commands her to leave her shyness behind and lean into the shared momentum. This total alignment locks them into an inescapable orbit. He promises that even if she tries to retreat, he will follow her exactly like her own shadow. Because they are so tightly synced, they don't need broad gestures. A single, sharp glance across a noisy room is enough to communicate complex intentions to each other. Their relationship is driven by this friction. It is a highly charged, combative alignment of two equals who thrive on keeping each other off balance. As the ceremony draws closer, the internal temperature spikes. The playful teasing hardens into a very real, very physical love fever. The instrumentation matches this urgency. The rhythm of the cylindrical drums accelerates, beating hot as the emotional stakes reach their peak. Her influence expands outward. The lyrics note that her singular look has the power to guide the entire town and spark longing in anyone who sees her. The tension has nowhere left to build. The private jokes and intense gazes have fully calcified into a heavy devotion, clearing the way for the central event. The long build-up finally snaps. The waiting ends, and the physical bride steps into the frame. The song signals this shift with a direct communal call to attention. The line, "Uncle, look, gracefully she's coming," yanks the narrative out of the groom's private thoughts into the public reality of the wedding. We finally see the subject of all this anticipation, adorned in traditional gold and white, commanding the space as she walks past the pillars. The descriptive language pivots toward permanence. The teasing energy of the firecracker matures into the stillness of a shining pearl, trading explosive, temporary bursts for a steady internal glow. The lyrics compare her to sugarcane, a detail that links the literal, physical taste of a harvest staple to a deep, sustaining emotional sweetness. The visual focus narrows down to the core of the ritual. As their hands grip the ceremonial coconut over the sacred fire, the structural binding of two lives is finalized. He recognizes the gravity of this transition. Her arrival signals a change in his internal hierarchy. She is here to rule his very life. By tracing the exact physical steps of this day, Pavazha Malli maps out a complete emotional trajectory. It moves us from the dry scratch of chalk through the dizzying friction of a private courtship and lands squarely on the heavy foundation of a lifelong vow.